Hello, guys, gals, non binary pals. Thank you for joining us for another episode of GSC's Girl Pod. I'm Candy. Hope you're all doing well. And I am joined today by V. How you doing, V?
I'm very well, thank you. It's quite late where I am, but I'm doing well. It's at least a Friday, so I've got the full weekend to enjoy to play video games. Yay!
Yeah, Friday. If you are tuning in and joining us today, thank you for joining us. Whether you are on YouTube or on Spotify, where we are just recently back on, thank you for joining us. Hopefully, this is not your last time joining us. Every episode, we're going to be talking about games and gaming related things wherever the vibes and tangents take us, all from our perspectives. But before we do dive right in, if you're not already following the channel or this podcast, please make sure to click that subscribe or follow button, depending on where you're watching this or listening to this. And then also make sure that you check out the weekly news podcast each week. And if that's not enough, because it's probably not, you can join the Discord and you can also check out our website, gamersocialclub.ca, which is the website that we write for. The website that brought us all together, that has editorials, guides, news, and reviews written for gamers by gamers, and just recently got put on Metacritic.
Hey,
So
I'm not gonna
make sure.
lie. Like my most recent review was one of
Mhm.
the ones that get put on Metacritic when it got up, and I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever written. Like, I'm so happy. I'm so happy about it. It's a game that doesn't even have a score on Metacritic. Like, not enough people have reviewed it, but I'm like, God damn, that's some writing. Like.
See, but now just think when people are looking for that, it's
Hmm.
gonna be like, what are they gonna find? They're gonna find yours.
That's very true. Metacritic accredited. Absolutely.
Hmm. You are a
Hmm.
Metacritic critic. How does it feel?
Actually, very exciting. I did send the link to it to all of my friends and family. I don't know if they were excited as I was. At the very least, like my mum and dad did not know what Metacritic was, and I was just like, "No, but this is a big deal. Like, you should be excited." And they were like, "Yeah, well done, daughter.
Hmm.
You're achieving things in the video game space, which we still don't." Well, that's not true. My dad loves video games, but my mum was like, so is that Nintendo? Like, and I'm like, no, it's not. But no, they were proud because they're very good parents, and despite the fact they might not understand what I say, they are proud when we do things well for the site. And I know
That's
that,
fair.
we were all very proud. I don't know, did you tell your parents,
So I
Switch aficionados, that they are?
So I actually didn't tell well, I didn't outwardly tell my parents, but I did post about it on like Instagram and social media. And it was funny because somebody that I'm friends with and that I also work with, she and I were talking about it, and then someone else overheard, which is fine because I tell people that like I write for the site. Um and so today actually at work, someone was like, "Oh, so I looked up what this Metacritic thing was. That's really cool." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Like I'm glad you looked it up." They were like, "So just so I, like, understand, because I don't really get it, does that make you, like, an influencer or something?" And I was like, "No." I was like,
No.
"No." I was like, "No, it doesn't." But it was really funny because there's, like, a running joke with some other people where they're like, "You're an influencer because I keep buying things because you tell me." I'm like, "But I'm not an influencer until I get paid by that specific company to influence you." I'm like, "I am
Yeah.
not paid by that company to influence you. I'm just a girl writing about games. That's it."
Yeah.
It's
And we do not get paid by any games companies to write
Mhm.
reviews. All of our reviews are fully what we want to write about. It's what we think about games.
Mhm.
We've never taken any payment from any games to write anything, and we would never would. Like,
No.
even or if we got a sponsorship, we would still write completely honestly what we think about the games.
Oh,
Like,
as someone who does some streaming on Twitch and has definitely picked up some games and then been like, this game is not good." There was like a demo that they were like, "Oh, play this thing." And I was like, "Okay, uh-huh." I think I played it for like 20 minutes and I was like, "Yeah, this isn't it." Like
yeah,
I will not be swayed. I was like, no." I was like, "Mm." So you will
I think
always
that's
get
fair.
honesty. Yeah,
Like,
you're gonna get honesty. Like if they
yeah.
if they wanted me to, like, actually say good things about the game, they would send me a good game.
Well, that's the thing. I think is like I watch a lot of gaming YouTube. In fact, it's almost exclusively what I watch, apart from over the last like week, because I've got super into A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and now all I'm watching is like breakdowns of Night of the Seven Kingdoms
Mhm.
episodes. But almost all of the time outside of that, I watch video game things. Um, and you can see where it's like, okay, people are getting their bag. Take
Yeah.
that Raid Shadow Legends sponsor. You
Oh
take
my
it. Like
god.
you're not telling me actually that this is a really good game. I should play it. You're just like, this game exists, and you're paying me, and I'm
Uh-huh.
like, yeah, absolutely, that's completely fine. But every so often, I'll get recommended like smaller channels that are sort of up and coming and stuff like that on YouTube. And it's games that you see a lot of sponsorships, playthroughs, and
Mhm.
things like that. And I'm like, okay, you're not really telling me much about what's going on in the game. And then once the sponsorship window is finished, you're
They never
never
touched
speaking about
again.
it again. And I'm like, okay, so if you're that positive about it,
Mhm. If you're that positive about it, you play it
sorry.
again. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good.
I would expect to see it on stream again. I would
Mhm.
expect to see it as part of your playthroughs again. But don't give me like a 45-minute gameplay stream of you being like, "Oh, this is the best thing ever. I'm having so much fun with it," because you're being paid to play it and then it
Yeah.
never happens again.
Yeah. No, I might have said this on the podcast before, I don't remember. Maybe when I made fun of, like, the cozy influencers, but, like, when I played a lot of Honkai Star Rail, like, I did a Honkai Star Rail, like, sponsorship, but I was like, "I have been playing this for many, many weeks before said sponsorship, and now I just happen to be playing it as a sponsorship, and then I played it again for many, many weeks." I have since fallen off, although I did get a really cute March 7th figure that finally got delivered, and I'm like, "Do I do I dive back into this? Do I need to?" I haven't I have been, uh I've been gotcha game free for, like, a few weeks, because not even, like, the horse girl game, nothing, nothing, nothing. Um, so I'm like, "Is it time to rip that Band-Aid open and just be like, well, I'm back on Honkai Star Rail.'"
Is it? Do you need to go back into the game? To be fair, I really enjoyed the Horse Girl game, but I have not played it in a long time. like,
I mean, what I
like,
will say that I like some gotcha games do have story and things like that, and that is what I liked about Honkai Star Rail, and this is also not a sponsored thing, again, this is just me talking about it, and I haven't touched it in quite some time.
but if you want
Um,
to sponsor us, Candy actually likes the game, and she will absolutely dive back in.
I do, and what I will do, I'll remember to do this, I will. I will put a picture of the March 7th figure that I'm talking about, because again, what I have played of the game, I do like it. I stopped playing it for a bit, because there was a storyline that did drag on quite a bit, and I was like, "This Rappa storyline, I like her aesthetic, but the storyline sucks." And then there was a whole lot of voice acting stuff, and then there was no voice acting for it, and I was like, "Ooh, no, I don't wanna read everything. I want the voice acting, like, I want it
Mm,
sent to me." So, like, that was when I fell off. Supposedly, since then, things have been mostly resolved. They've gone back, they've recorded things. Some voice actors have been recast. I have not dived fully into that, but, um, so I'm like, "Well, maybe I'll dive back in," and there was a character, that I really wanted and that I never got her, and I know that now there is a way to guarantee that you get her. So I'm like, "Oh, maybe that is the sign that it's time to go back in and get Kafka." So she
yeah.
can shoot me and beat me up, like, maybe now is the time to go back in. So, um, yeah, but I have been beyond that, I've been, like, gotcha game free, and I will say, because it's been so long, I won't have to worry about, like, "Oh, I've spent money to get these characters." Like, no, no, no. They're gonna be like, "Oh, you're back. Here are these goodies to bring you back," and then the luck will be kinda
Yeah.
nice for a little bit, and then I'll have so much to catch up on that I will earn the free things to get the goodies again. Um, and I still think for a free game, because it is free to play, obviously, as most gacha games
Mhm.
are, um, it has one of the most beautiful openings that I've seen in a game, like, art-wise, because it's very, like, anime art, um, but also the way that it's done with, like, the violin playing and the action that's happening, and it's a very well done opening, um, and I will say, the music in that game is, like, banger after banger after banger, um,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of really good things about that game. Obviously, if you don't like the anime aesthetic and you don't like gacha games, it's not for everybody, um, Although I know that now they also have a collab with Fortnite coming out, and I'm like, "Oh, you've sullied yourself with Fortnite." But I'm like, "Well, everybody has to, so whatever."
Yeah, everything is in Fortnite now.
Yeah, I was like, "Wait, now this is in Fortnite?" Like, and it's crazy because 'cause I'm like, "Okay, wait, so you could play Honkai Star Rail completely free to play and get these characters, right, for free, or you could pay Fortnite to get these characters in Fortnite." I'm like, "Wait,
People are gonna do both. They are maximizing their revenue streams. Like
100%.
people are gonna do both. Like
100%. Like, I don't play Fortnite because I've played it a few times, but after, like, 2 matches, it, like, gives me, like, motion sickness, and I don't know why. I think it's, like, too bright and vivid and there's too much happening. Um, and I'm like, "Well, maybe I'll pick it up, like, and get those skins just to have them." And then I was like, "Nah, I don't know." But the one skins that I this was a leak, and I know we don't do rumors on Gamer Social Club, but the one that I saw that I was like, "If this ends up panning out, I know I'm gonna buy these." Were the ones for Chainsaw Man. I was like, "If you put power in, like, I'm gonna buy it just to have it so that if I ever do play my 1 to 2 matches with friends of Fortnite, I can be power."
are you saying we need to have like a gamer social club Fortnite? I've never played Fortnite. I've never had it installed on any console or PC or anything or like mobile device I've ever owned. I've never played it. Like, are you saying if there is a Chainsaw Man drop on Fortnite that we have to have a community game evening or gamer social club where we play Fortnite?
I mean, the problem is I'll only play, like, 2 matches and then I'll walk away.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've never played it before. Like, so I'm just like, all I know is it's a battle royale and you have to
Mhm.
outrun the storm, but there's like
And thank
building
the bus
I don't
driver.
know. Like,
You don't
I
th
don't fucking
so
know how to play
there
Fortnite.
was building. You don't have to do the build mode. You can, and honestly, most people that I know play with no build mode because 'cause they're like, "I don't wanna build. I wanna be able to dance around with my friends and shoot my friends and, get the number 1 victory royale." Um, which is, like, the thing. So, yeah, I mean, maybe. Well, we'll see. I th If they get that skin, it's not gonna be for a long time anyway, so we have plenty of time. Maybe I'll stop being so motion sick from it. And I'd be like, "Oh,
I
okay."
can only get good at one game at a time, and you guys have tasked me to try and get better at
A Dead by Daylight?
Dead by Daylight.
Mhm.
Like,
Well,
I can't
yeah.
get better at Dead by Daylight and also learn how to fucking play Fortnite. Like,
Okay, fine. What if you just get good at Overwatch instead? And I don't even have to call it Overwatch 2 anymore because now it's just Overwatch, and
I've
they
never played
have a
Overwatch either.
it's
Like,
free to play. Just install it, boot it up, and I will. You know what? I say that I will be a toxic Moira, but they are also introducing a cat character, and I'm like, look at that kitty. Look at the cute kitty." And not like the way I say, "Look at that kitty," like talking about a Digimon, like, "Look at that cute kitty," like the way I talk about my cat. I'm like,
okay.
"Oh, look at that precious little kitty," except that
Do
it's
I
in
have to do I
Overwatch.
have to mouse and keyboard Overwatch to
No,
be even remotely good at it?
I don't think so. I mean, okay, I mouse and keyboard, but that's just because I'm, like, sitting at my desk so much and I just have gotten more used to
No, but
mouse and keyboard.
it's a shooter. So
It's a
in
sh
order
it's a
to
shooter. You can
actually
play with
be
controller.
yeah, you can play,
Will you
but in order to
be
be
as good as I
remotely
am?
good,
I mean,
I'm gonna have to mouse and keyboard it. And
maybe.
I'm not gonna lie, as someone who only
Mhm.
started playing like first person shooters and stuff like that on PC within the past couple of years, I am
Same.
dog shit.
No,
Um, but it's
same.
not at the shooting, it's the movement. I'm so bad at keyboard movement. I am just so bad at it. My brain cannot comprehend like WASD in terms of like fast paced movement
Oh,
for a video game. I'm so bad at it. I'm
I've
like
gotten pretty good at that.
what's going on here? Like, and when I play shooters on console, I play with inverted controls. So
Mhm.
moving my mouse about, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What are we doing? Like, I play with some of my friends. Uh, we played through like some of the Halo campaigns like
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
couple of years ago on PC. During COVID, I played through Halo 3 with my friend, but I played it on controller. He was on PC. But when we were playing through the last time, I was like, right, okay, I'm gonna mouse and keyboard it because I know that it is fundamentally more skillful.
Mhm.
you are better at it if you can master mouse and keyboard in a shooter. But goddamn, I'm fucking bad at it, man.
I mean, I
Like,
think that but I think what you said is really key there. It's if you can master it, right? If you
yeah.
can't master it or you have no intention of really mastering it, then I feel like it doesn't matter. Um, because I do play mouse
So
and
I'll just be
keyboard.
dog shit with my controller.
No,
I'll
you
just
could
be like,
still be you can still be okay. You could still be good.
no,
You
I'm
just
saying
you
specifically me.
I mean,
I will
no,
be
you'll be
dog shit with my controller.
fine. You'll be fine. I am just someone who has gotten very used to mouse and keyboard, um, and for a lot of things, and there are going to be a few people that agree with me on this, but there will be more people that disagree with me on this, including Supergiant themselves. Um, I play Hades and Hades 2 with mouse and keyboard, right? When you boot up the first Hades, it tells you at the bottom, "Controller is recommended." And I
Yeah,
sit there and I'm like, "Nah, miss me with that. I'm playing mouse and keyboard." The few times that I've tried, like, controller, I'm
yeah,
awful. I cannot do it with a controller. Mouse and keyboard, I'm like, "Suck it, papa, you're going down," right? But if I'm if it's just, like, controller, I'm like, I can't do this." And same thing with Hades 2 now. I'm like, "I'm I'm kicking ass with mouse and keyboard. I finally, like, have gotten my groove going, like, up the to Mount Olympus, right? I'm like, "Yup." I go up against Kronos because that's the bad that they talk about, right? And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill time." Like, "Yup, I am in there. He's not even a challenge." Don't put a controller in my hand for that game because my streak will just be done. I don't know what it is. And so, like, like a game like Overwatch, which it doesn't move fast sometimes, yes, it is not as fast paced as some of these other games, depending
Mm,
on, like, the characters that you're playing. I also am just mouse and keyboard with it because it's become more intuitive to me, and
yeah,
I only really started playing Overwatch I started playing after it became Overwatch 2, so I never bought the initial Overwatch, I never played it. Um, and so, I mean, it's only been 3, maybe 4 years, since
yeah.
I started playing Overwatch, and I go in, like, grooves with it, like, I'll play it a lot, and then I won't touch it for months, and then I'll play it a lot, and then I won't touch it. Um, so it's very much like yeah, you could play with whatever, and I'm not playing competitive. I have tried some competitive matches. No, I'm gonna stay in free play. And when it's Christmas time, I'm gonna do the little like, "Ha we're catching you with the snowball, and we're going up against the Yeti," and all the fun little modes they have. I'm not doing this competitive nonsense. I
No,
can't.
I'm not doing anything competitively.
They're too sweaty.
Um,
No.
no. When it comes to mouse and keyboard gaming, if I'm playing a Metroidvania on PC,
Mhm.
I'm fully mouse and keyboard pilled. Like that is so much easier to do for something like a Metroidvania. But no, like anything sort of 3D, first person or third person, I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've been playing console for too long. Like
I mean,
and
up until
I do play Hades with a controller.
that's
Absolutely.
fair. Listen, that's fair, and that's how most people play it, and that's how Supergiant says you should play it, and I'm just like, "I'm a rebel. You can't tell me what to do." No.
Yeah. I'll play how I want and I'll be good at it. God dang.
Yeah. Like, my escape rate is easily 15 to 20% now, like, and it
Yeah.
just keeps going up, so no. But yeah, it is how you choose to play it, and however as long as you're having fun, that's what I'll say, as long as you're having fun.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've never played Overwatch, so I don't know if I'm going to be having fun.
So we'll get you
Um,
to try it, and if you hate
yeah,
it, you
well,
never have to play it
we
again.
have to have a goal. We have had many goals
I
on
know.
Girl Pod over like the what almost year or so we've now been doing Girl Pod. Probably not a
30
full
something
year.
episodes.
30 something episodes. So, coming up just past half a year. Uh, so we'll do a very small goal. So
Mhm.
if this episode gets 20 likes, I will play Overwatch.
I
I
thought
will
you were gonna
try
say,
it.
like, 10. I was like, 20 is a lot.
Is 20 a lot? Like,
I
I
think
feel
20
like
is a lot.
Steve could probably get, like, all of his friends to come in and, like, they can boost it up to 20. Okay, what about 15? What about a compromise?
Okay,
15
15.
likes on this episode of Girl Pod, and I will download and play Overwatch. Like,
15, I think
uh,
15 is fair.
yeah. And we can see how bad I am, which is probably very bad. Like,
I don't think you'll be bad. I mean, I think because it also depends on who you play, right? And that's always like a factor. Um, because
what you're telling me
there's
is I'm
like
gonna have to learn things.
no. So there are a handful of characters that you very much like have to learn almost nothing
Okay.
besides like the basic controls of like this is your movement, this is this ability, this is like ability 1, ability 2, right? Like things like that. Um, like, actually, the intro character that they give everybody is his name is Soldier 76, and he
Mhm.
is just like, he's basically just a shooter. He can kinda sorta heal himself, with his, like, special ability, um, and even with his ultimate it, like, it will auto target people, right? So, it's
Okay.
very much like, here's the intro character, right? Like, yes, with his regular attack, you have to try to aim for people, and I think one of his, like, voice lines is something about, like,
Oh, yeah, I
cheat
can
codes.
aim. I have
Yeah.
completed, like, almost every Halo game on Legendary. I know how to aim, man. I'm
No,
not I'm
I
not
know you
that
know how
shit at
to
games.
aim,
Like,
but it's, like, in the, like, crazy usually by the time you get your ultimate, it's crazy. Right?
Mm,
So it's like he will auto aim so you don't have to try to figure out like what
okay.
am I doing, right? Or who am I going against? And especially also like you can there's not like a you could have your team look exactly the same, right? So like our lineup of 5 could be the exact same as a lineup of 5 across, right? And if you're not looking very closely at like the names of people above, you might start aiming at your people, being like, isn't that the enemy like Lucio or whatever? And no, it's like it's your Lucio or not. Um
Okay.
so like his so like when things get a little hectic or if everybody's popping off their ults, his will just
Mhm.
be like, "I'm targeting whoever," right?
Yeah.
Um, so that can be helpful, and that's helpful as, like, you're learning the game. Once you, like, get comfortable, it's like, pick anybody else. And it's like, pick whoever you want. Like, it doesn't matter. Um,
Okay.
but I find it I find it fun. I also find it very much like a turn your brain off, which is probably why I'm not that great at it. So when I play it, I'm like, "This is my mindless pew-pew game," right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even call it a shooter. I'm like, "It's pew-pew."
Yeah.
Mindless, pew pew, brain goes off, autopilot, like, I will play 2 hours of Overwatch and have full-on conversations with people, and someone will be like, "Oh, so that was really funny when you were talking about this thing with someone," and I was like, "I was talking about what?"
What do you
Like,
mean?
there is there is just, like,
No thoughts.
no
Only
thoughts,
only
just
Overwatch.
and it's just like, yep, get in the groove and you just let go and whatever. And that's why I think I like really enjoy it because sometimes I'm just like, I'm done. This
Yeah.
is this is my zone out game. We're good. Um and now it's back to just being Overwatch and they're going to introduce like 10 new heroes this year and
Was there not supposed to be a like a PvE mode
uh,
when they launched Overwatch 2? Was this not why it has like the
what
lowest
a
review
what
score on Steam like ever?
what
Like,
okay, first of all, I don't know why anybody would get it on Steam. Like that's number 1. Like what are you doing? Just whatever.
why would you not? Like,
'Cause it has its own launcher that works perfectly f like, I know some people are like, "I
I
want
don't
all these different
wanna
launchers,"
install a new fucking
but I'm
launcher.
like, "It works
Don't
perfectly
mess me
fine.
with this extra launcher shit. I don't want it.
It
Like,
works fine,
no.
and I can play Warcraft 3 if I wanna go back and play Warcraft 3." Not World of
I don't
Warcraft,
play
just
Warcraft.
Warcraft.
I don't want extra launchers.
I'm just like,
Like,
"This is fine. This is fine."
Ubisoft
I don't need
deserves to face the company because they keep making me try and install their fucking launcher. Like,
okay, their launcher sucks. I will say because I had it for a little bit, and I was like, "I hate this launcher." Same thing
oh,
of,
you
like
know, they're like they're like, "Oh, we've put our games into Game Pass, but if you play them on PC, they make you download the Ubisoft launcher,
mhm.
and then you can't even unlock fucking achievements on them." Like,
Oh, that's stupid.
what's his name? Eve Guillemot. Fuck that man. Get rid of this stupid prick. Like, I don't wanna download your fucking Ubisoft launcher onto my PC. It's dog shit.
That's fair.
Let me just play the game via my PC if it's on Game Pass. And the second worst thing about it is, like, I've got a Xbox ROG Ally X, which I got for
Mhm.
Christmas. So if you wanna play an Ubisoft game through that,
Do you have to download it
um
on that too?
yeah, but like, it doesn't work properly. Like, it's not optimized for
Oh
the
my
handheld,
god.
and this is through no fault of, like, Asus, like,
Yeah.
the manufacturer of, like, the ROG. It's just because Ubisoft is so shit. Like, what do you mean? I've paid for this fucking game, and you're like, "Oh, no, have you tried downloading it?" I don't want your fucking launcher! Get away from me! Like, my dad refuses to play Command& and Conquer with me on PC now because he
Oh,
doesn't know how
no.
to because he doesn't know how to figure out Steam, but also because he's so sick of the EA launcher for fucking Command and Conquer. And I'm like, you guys have to stop. You have to fucking stop. Like, just if I own it, let me launch it on the platform that I own it on. Like, it could be
That's fair.
GOG, it can be Epic, it could be Steam, it could be it's not Origin anymore for fucking AA. But
No,
like,
it's not.
stop making me download 75 fucking launchers. Like, do you know how much fucking memory costs in this day and age for me to have launchers on top of the 7,000 gig game that you want me to fucking download? You bastards! Like, I'm not doing it. I refuse.
I mean, listen, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, and you know what the great thing is? You don't have to play Overwatch on PC to play with me. You can get it on PlayStation, you can get it anywhere else, and
Well,
we can
can I
still
not
play.
just get it on Steam?
I
Can
mean,
I
you can,
not
yeah,
just get
yeah.
it on Steam?
You can.
Like,
You can. But, like, if you were like, "I'm not gonna, like, download it on Steam, I'm not" if you were one of those people that are like, "I'm not gonna sully my PC with Overwatch," you could get it on anything else, and it would be just
right,
as fine.
I'm not gonna even mention what my internet search history looked like for the last like 20 minutes before this podcast started. The only thing I'm gonna say is that it involved the program GIMP, which is
Mhm,
obviously for image manipulation, um, but it's also called GIMP.
mhm, mhm.
And I had been looking at other things before that, which realistically you don't want your search history to be this and this and this and then the word GIMP. I'm just saying. Like, like
I mean,
these
look,
are
do
not
you.
things that you want an algorithm to be looking at to then maybe put ads forward to you, is all I'm saying. Like,
What ad blockers are for.
yeah,
So
well,
you're
yeah.
fine. You're fine. What we do want the ads to show you, though, is tasty beverages to drink, and I realize I haven't asked you what you're drinking. So what are you drinking?
I am drinking a very nice, it was on offer in Sainsbury's this evening,
Ooh.
a very nice Californian Zinfandel. You'll notice that this bottle is empty. But
Well, to
that's
be
because
fair, you
it's almost,
poured it while we've been talking, and I was like, "Oh, I
well,
didn't
yeah,
ask what we were drinking."
it is almost midnight here, so I've been drinking it throughout the evening. But this is a Chronic Cellars spaced out Zinfandel. So it's a
Mm.
Californian Zinfandel from the Napa Valley, which is one of my favorite types of red wine. Very jammy, incredibly fruity, and this is a very good example of it. So it's about 80% Zinfandel. There's some Syrah grapes in there, and I think a bit of Grenache, but it's just
Okay.
a very easy, fruit forward. Especially if you're not really into your red wines, it doesn't have a lot of tannins. There's not a lot of bitterness to it, but there's a lot of body
Mm.
to it. So you can have it with a nice meal that you would normally pair red wine with, or you can just sit and play video games and have it a couple of glasses in an evening. So that is what I am drinking. What are you drinking?
I am drinking an Angry Orchard rosé cider. I was telling
Oh.
V before this podcast that I realized that I hadn't actually been to the liquor store or the grocery store and picked up anything. And I was like, well, there's a little bit of Bailey's, a little bit of rum somewhere. And then I looked in the fridge and I was like, oh, there's a cider.
Yay!
Beautiful. Beautiful. Although I probably should go to the store and get something at some point because I'll be off all next week. So I can just be a heathen and be like, I'm just playing my game and having a drink. and nobody talked
That's
to
what you
me.
want when you're on holiday. Like
Yeah, nobody talked to me, nobody look at me, don't bother me. Um,
absolutely.
but yeah, so that's so I've had a lot of Angry Orchard on the podcast before. They're the local cidery, that I've visited, um, over the summer, and I feel like we go there almost once a summer, just to go sit, try whatever they have, like, that's only available there. Because there's always, like, one flavor that's, like, you can just get there. Um,
Mhm.
so but I pick up their stuff pretty often. I like their and I don't think they have a seasonal one for this time of year, I'd have to check. Um, but normally it's their usual. I go through their usual, their green apple, and then this rosé. Those are the 3 that I'll get throughout the year. Um, when it's the fall and they do their cinnamon one,
Well,
that's
then, yeah, you have to get
uh,
your special Halloween themed,
that's my
like
favorite one.
mhm.
That's so my favorite one. I wish they had it all year round. Angry Orchard, if you ever listen to this, please have the cinnamon one all year round. It's
Just send it
delightful.
to me. Just send it to Candy all year round. Like, you don't even actually have to have it all year round. Just send enough to Candy for all year round. We
You know
will
what?
talk about it on the
I was gonna
podcast
say, send it to us
weekly.
early. Send it to us
Yeah.
like before the season starts. That way I can be talking it up on the episodes. So that way by the time the season hits, people are ready to see.
Mm.
See, these are the
Yeah,
sponsorships
we
that we
will
want.
we will be promoting it for free anyway. Like,
And yeah.
so you can just send it over. Like,
Mhm.
you don't even need to pay us. Like, you can just send it over so that we can drink it. Like,
Hell, you know what? You don't even need to send it over. You could just put it in the back of my car the next time I go visit. Because it is, I will say, it is a very nice cidery, right?
yeah.
Like going up there is very nice. It's a very nice like plot of property. They do have some food, they have music and stuff like that. So it's like just for like a usually when we do it, we've done like an overnight stay, but you could do it as like a day trip, right? Like a nice little day trip, go, especially when it's comfortable out. Like, just put a few in the trunk and we're
No
good to
one's
go.
looking.
So you don't even need
No
to
one's
pay
looking.
the shipping cost. Like, I
Yeah.
will pick it
No
up.
one's looking. I'm just taking it home. I'm just taking it
Take
home.
it home.
Like,
I'm just taking it home to have it when I record the podcast. It's fine. Fine. You get in now for the low, low rate of just giving me your drinks.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just I'll pay for it. I'm just gonna make sure that I have it when it's not supposed to be there. Mhm.
So, okay. I know we finally got to the drinks because again, I got off topic and just the vibes
Yeah,
as
we were
we
talking
do.
about Overwatch. It's
Talking
exciting.
about I yeah. I think I'm going back into like the Overwatch like, I can feel it creeping up, especially with everything they announced. So I'm like, "Oh, it's only a matter of time before I dive back in." I don't even think it's updated on my PC right now, but watch by, like, this weekend, all of a sudden it'll be like, "It's updated. I'm just checking it out. They
Yeah.
put another hot character in it." There is a,
Oh
um
no.
there is a Scottish character in there. I forget his name. I think his name is Hazard. Uh
Okay.
And when the character first got introduced, I was talking to some people about it, and they were like, "Oh, this character is for the girls and the gays." Like, not even a question. Not even a
Okay.
question. And I was
I'm
like,
into
"Oh,
that.
okay. Okay." I was like, "If that's what it's for, alright." There are some good-looking characters in there, and I will say Blizzard kinda sucks as a company, but they have made the characters very inclusive in Overwatch,
Mm.
so good for them. Like, they do something right, and maybe that's why I'm like, "Well, I guess this is what keeps me coming back every once in a while."
Yeah,
Just
because it's so inclusive.
I'm like, and then I was away from it for a bit. Oh my god, this is my favorite thing about this stupid Overwatch stuff too. Uh, I was away for it for a bit, and then they did a collab with Persona, and I was like, "Well,
Oh yeah,
shit."
you told me about this. You had to go and buy all the
I
skins.
bought all the
Like,
skins, right? So what I've been seeing online a little bit, which cracks me up, is there's this thing where people are like, if a gotcha game collabs with Persona, right? Within like a
then it
year,
dies.
it dies.
Like,
Yeah, right? Like that's been the joke. So I saw on Twitter somebody was like, "Yo, Persona killed Overwatch 2 and now we got Overwatch back." I
It's fair, that's all people been asking for since
I know.
Overwatch 2 came out, was to bring back Overwatch. Like, the
It's
Phantom Thieves are at it again.
Yep.
Like,
They did it. And so I
they did
posted it.
it,
I
ladies and
posted
gentlemen.
it in a Discord, and I was like, "Okay, this is hysterical, like, the game's not dead dead, but it's dead," right? And one of my
Yeah.
friends responds, and he's like, "Not the hero that we deserve, but the hero we wanted."
Mm,
Because he's, like, not a JRPG person, and I was like, "Well,
yeah.
whatever, it did the job. You got your Overwatch back." So, it's very amusing to me, but, I'm like, "Well, the Persona curse is still real, but everyone's happy this time."
Yeah, it's the one time. Well, I'm sure a lot of times people have been happy before.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of gacha games that probably deserve to die. Like,
Oh, 100%. There's a lot of them. There's probably too many of them. Let's be real. But no, it was just funny seeing that, like, the curse happened again. Um, I'm I'll be curious to see, like, if it brings a lot more people back, because 'cause I'll also be curious, like, when it brings people back, is it gonna be the people that are, like, overly sweaty, and am I gonna hate the game?
I feel like the
So we'll
people that are
see.
overly sweaty probably never left.
I mean, some of them definitely did not leave, and then, there's people that left, and some I will say there are some people that are very nice and some people that have been fun to play against, and there
Well,
have been some
that's just playing video games on the internet, is it?
there
Like,
there have been s
unfortunately.
there have been some that have been hysterical because 'cause I've streamed Overwatch quite a bit, and there was one time it was a few of us were playing, and you know, I think sometimes this is a little bit cringe, but people will play, like, an FPS or some sort of online game, and at the end of their name, they will add the TTV, right? And it's sort of like a self-promotion that they're probably a streamer of some sort and whatever. So, we were playing, and I was streaming it, but we were playing, and somebody in the chat started getting, like, really upset, and you could see that one of them had, like, the TTV. So I was like, "Oh, I wonder if they're streaming," and I pulled it up, and not the streamer, but one of the friends that they were playing with was yelling about the way we were coming at them, and it was just hysterical. And it was just like, "Oh my god, there's fucking May, get them away from," and it was just, like, the yelling, and I was cracking up, right? So I have them in my ear yelling about, like, me and my friends coming after them, just playing the game, and again,
Yeah,
we're not good, right?
yeah.
For context, the few times that I've tried to play competitive, I can't get out of bronze, right? So I'm not good, but
Mm.
the way they were yelling, like, everybody was cracking up. I was like, "This is the funniest shit I've heard in weeks." Like
I think sometimes you just need to take a step back and realize that it's just video games, bro. It's
Yep,
literally just video games,
yep.
bro. Like,
And if you
you
know what the
you
character of May looks like, I'm just a little May. I'm just a little girl running around shooting off her little icicles. That's it.
I do not know what the character of May looks like. I'm sure, because
Just a little
we're going
guy.
to be having our breakdown of Hear Me Outs. We're probably going to have to censor that one out because if she's just a little guy,
She's
you're
not
not allowed to have
underage.
that.
She's just
Okay,
literally short.
okay, that's fine. That's fine. You can have short Hear Me Outs. You're not allowed to have underage Hear Me Outs. Like, it's
Yes,
against the rules. Stop
100%.
it. Stop it. Like, none of this. Oh, they're actually 1,000 years old. But they just look like a 12. Stop it. Fucking stop it. This is
So
unacceptable
no anime
behavior.
lollies.
We will. We do not condone your perversion. Like, big titty animal ladies who are
Yes.
your mum or nothing.
The
Like,
MILFs are nothing.
yeah, mommy or nothing. Like, we don't condone this degeneracy on Girl Pod. Like,
I took a look, there are some interesting ones. We have a few.
I've not put I've not put mine in yet.
There are a few.
Um,
So, and there
I
will be a
will
link at the
spend
bottom of this episode to submit more
yeah,
to. Mhm.
and I will spend the week asking my community over in Blue Sky what theirs are, so they can fill out the form, so we have a fun time
A fun
looking over.
array.
Oh, what's the weirdest thing you want to fuck? Like,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
mm,
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
We'll have
And
a
we know
little
you can do
slideshow.
better than like a Pokemon. We know
Yes.
you can do better than like Lucario or the hot Digimon. Everyone wants to fuck the hot Digimon. You can do better.
Listen,
You go
that's
right into
why
the
the
depths of your perversion and
that's
you
why the
tell us
form says, "Don't give me your Leon Kennedys. Don't get like
no.
no,
How does that hear
no."
me out? He's just a
That's what I'm
conventionally
saying.
attractive man.
That's why I'm like,
Like
"No, that is not what this is for. We are not ranking them in a tier list, right? This
no.
is hear me out. So this is very specifically hear me outs. We can rank
Hear me
hot
out.
people
I
on a
think
tier list
attractive
somewhere
men
else.
are attractive. That's not a fucking hear me out.
Nope,
Get messes with this shit.
no.
Like, what do you mean?
It is
Like,
literally listed at the top of the form. I was like, "Yep, this is there are context there so that you know."
yeah.
And
Hear
so,
me
yeah.
out. Attractive people are attractive. It's like, okay.
What? No
What do
way.
you mean? What do you mean?
So I
Like
like I don't want to see any Astarians on there. Absolutely not. No. No.
you
Although I
can
will say I
like
don't fully get the appeal, but just still no.
yeah, I don't really get it either. But yeah, like you can have yourself a little Garrus Vicarian. That man looks like a weird bird lizard. And I fully get it because he's one of my hear me outs. But you can't have just a normal adult man. Like
Mm-mm.
that's not a hear me out. That's just your boyfriend. Like like and
Yeah.
no one's judging you for this. Like
Nope. We are listening. We are not judging.
yeah, well we're not going to judge you for any of them. You
No.
like unless it is a literal child and then we're going to phone the police. We're we're going to phone the police. Um I would say
Mhm.
the FBI not to get political, but it does kind of seem like they're not going to do anything about it.
Mhm.
But we're going to send someone to your house and they're going to beat you up if
There
your
we
hear
go.
me out is a
Mhm.
literal child. Like
Yes.
I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to smash a ball over your head. There
Valid.
we go. Like
Valid. No.
but yeah,
We
you know,
will.
give us your weird little guys.
Yeah.
Do you want to fuck a slime from Dragon Quest? I don't get it, but I respect it because that's a proper hear me out. Like
I mean, that is a proper one. And I mean, maybe that's, the equivalent of like a fleshlight or something. I don't know. Maybe that's why they want to bang a slime. I don't know. Right? It's wet, it's gushy. I don't know. Maybe
macaroni
that's
in
it.
a pot.
See, you know where I was going. See?
Absolutely. I
So,
love that song. I
so like,
absolutely love that song and I love it more. Again, not to go overly political, but I love it so much more with the whole meme of Ben Shapiro being like, "My wife's a doctor, and if you're getting wet, then you should go to the hospital." And I'm like, bro's like online saying
yup.
he's never satisfied a woman. Like, what do you mean? Like, you could not fucking the KGB could not peel my fingernails off for that information. Like, oh, like no, it like this doesn't seem normal. I've never done it. Like, I'm like, okay,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
like.
But
You
see,
could not
that's
waterboard that information out of me, like not even in a sexy way.
you
Like
know what? He
absolutely
needs
not.
to bang a slime to see what it feels like. He needs it.
Yeah, I don't want to hear Ben Shapiro's fucking hear me out. Like
No. God, no. No, thank you. Mm-mm.
I don't need to know that Ben Shapiro wants to fuck like Trump's little like throat
Oh,
pussy. Like I don't need that throat pussy like visibility in my face. Like I don't
I
need
am
it.
never gonna
Like
unhear that word now.
oh, this is my revenge for the
Oh,
moment. Like throat pussy. Like
I'm never gonna unhear it. Oh my goodness. Oh, I
only actual hear me outs. If you actually want to fuck like a pot of macaroni cheese, that's an actual hear me out. Like
I mean, okay, is it? I feel like there is a collective and maybe more
there's no
people
way
that
you
our
just
age.
said the words is it
No,
over
because here's
fucking a pot of food.
no, because
Like
don't forget, we had growing up that American Pie movie, right?
yeah,
How many
yeah.
people tried it though? That's why it's like, how many people actually tried something like that? That's why I'm like, I don't know that that's that surprising because I feel like people probably already tried things like that.
Okay, so I mean, not obviously necessarily, but let the record show that I do not have a penis. Um,
Same.
so I am,
So I can't try it.
yeah, I am cisgendered woman. I do not have a penis. So I have never thought about the fact that people might have actually tried to fuck a pie after watching American Pie. There's That didn't happen, though, right? Like that was there for
Are
the
you kidding?
comedy of
I've re-
the
I've
of the
I've read
the
stories
film.
on Reddit and stuff like that where it's like I stuck it in a jar of peanut butter. So yeah, I'm sure people have put it in something that actually feels warm and juicy.
Oh, I love peanut butter. My favorite. It's my favorite thing to eat. Don't do, stop it. Stop it. Like, okay, maybe
Listen,
there is some judgment, and the judgment is not weird things that you might find attractive. My judgment here is you're wasting food, man. You're wasting the food.
there are
Like,
starving people in the world.
peanut butter is expensive. If you get a good peanut butter,
Mhm.
like that shit is expensive,
Mhm.
and you're just putting your dick in it. Stop that. Like you can buy a fleshlight, and I don't know, like just open a jar of peanut butter in the room if the smell is doing something for you. I don't
I
stop
don't
fucking
know.
jars of peanut butter. Stop it. Stop it. It's not acceptable behavior. Like, like,
I'm just saying, I have read these stories on Reddit. People admit to weird things. Here's the thing. I say people admit to weird things on Reddit. Now, there are probably people on Reddit that just do it for the shock value, but the problem is that there's someone that might write something for the shock value, and then there's somebody else who reads it who's like, "Actually,
I'm gonna try that.
I'm gonna try it." Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So no. So we're always opening it up to guests for the
Mhm.
podcast. I was like, "Come on, girl pods,
Mhm.
we be yapping." Uh,
Clearly. Clearly, if this conversation doesn't point that.
about the whether or not you should be fucking jars of peanut butter. Um, but Dano is a nurse.
Mhm.
Like, so Dano, so if our listeners are not aware, but you should be, Dano is our editor in chief. He is in charge of the Gamer Social Club. He's the
Mhm.
person that brought us all together, and who's put in all the hard work to get us where we are to this day.
And might
Um,
be regretting okaying this podcast.
he's absolutely regretting okaying this podcast, because I'm going to be like, can we get Dano on as a guest and ask him the weirdest things that he might have seen that
Oh
people
my
have
god.
tried to have sex with and or shove up their arse. I
Mhm.
I need to know that. Now that I've thought about it, I need to know. Like,
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
Dano,
100%.
like, could I have a code for a game that I would want coming up? But also, if not, could you tell me the weirdest thing that you've ever seen shoved up someone's arse?
See, listen, I'm just saying it happens. Humans are curious creatures. I'm not saying we should always be that curious, but there are people that are out there that are trying lots of different things. I'm
Yeah,
sure if you speak to like an ER nurse or an ER doctor, they got some stories. I'm 110% sure.
yeah. Uh, yeah, and if you're thinking about shoving anything up your arse,
And people do.
yeah, well,
Bottles,
just
toys, and not like the
think
toys that are meant for that. Like,
just think about safety.
mhm.
So, you know, um, plenty of lubrication.
I like that you're
Don't
trying to
put
figure out how do you phrase this.
breakables up your arse, because if they break, then they're broken in your arse.
Mhm.
Um, and also potentially think about the fact that if it gets stuck up there, then you might have to go to the ER, and a lovely nurse, um, potentially Dano, maybe not, is going to have
Oh
to
no.
look at you and say, "Oh, okay, so someone's going to have to remove that from your arse." So,
Mhm.
we're not judging. There's no judgment here, but just, think about your own safety
Yes.
when you're, um how did we get onto this? Like, hear me out is one thing, but I'm doing
The
like a
slimes.
PSA, like, I'm like, "Don't put a wine bottle up your arse,"
Yes,
like,
don't do that.
because that's glass, and if that breaks,
Mhm.
then you're gonna have a sore fucking arse. Like,
And if you're in
like
America, you're gonna have a really expensive hospital bill.
well, yeah. Like, I mean, don't do it anywhere, but especially don't do it in America because it's going to cost you a lot of money. In Scotland, you're going to be in a lot of pain and you're going to be a lot of embarrassment. I can only assume, not even assume. Like, I've never went to the hospital for something shoved up my arse, but I have been to the hospital for random things, and nurses are brutal.
Mhm.
Like, they'll slag you for anything in a Scottish hospital or doctor's surgery. If you went in there with a broken wine bottle up your arse, like, that's not going to be the most painful experience you have that day. That woman is going to read you to filth. Like, but if you do it in America, yeah, you're going to come home with like
Mhm.
£20,000 in debt and
Mhm.
also a very sore fucking arsehole.
Yes.
Like,
That might just be the least of your concerns, though, at that point.
yeah, the crippling debt, like,
Mhm.
is probably going to be the higher concern.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my god, I have no idea how to transition to our fantasy guest.
we can't invite people onto this. Like, we genuinely can. Like, maybe we have to skip fantasy guests for today because this isn't fit for human consumption.
I mean,
Like,
the fantasy guest is not gonna go to the hospital because of this,
no, but
and,
they
like,
maybe I'm not
like,
even going to say what I was going to say. I was going to say something, and I'm like, no,
maybe they've
actually,
already
that's too.
gone.
No, I was like, too far. We can't be like, oh, so what we could ask your fantasy guest is, what safe thing they would like to shove up their arse. But obviously you can't ask people that on the internet.
Okay, wait, I think I have the
She's got the
most
through line. She's got it. She's got the through line. She's got it.
I do, okay. So the idea of someone having to go to the hospital because of something like this sounds like it would be a ridiculous plot line in an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, right?
Okay. Okay. No. Yeah. Yeah.
Because those characters are fucking absurd, right?
Yeah.
And they're, like, awful people.
They're hooked on crack.
Yeah, they're a mess, right? Some of those actors were also on a show called Mythic Quest, right? And Mythic Quest followed a fictional video game studio that was producing an MMORPG, right? Now,
I'm
I
seeing the
don't
vision. I'm seeing the
you've
vision.
seen the vision, right? Okay. Now, I don't actually want to talk to any of the actors that were on it, right? That's not who I actually want to have as our, like, fantasy guest. The person
Okay.
that I would want to have as our fantasy guest is someone who has worked on on Mythic Quest
hmm
and has worked on The Last of Us and is
hmm
now tackling Baldur's Gate 3 or Baldur's
Oh,
Gate.
okay. Okay. Yeah, no, that is, I'm not gonna lie, absolutely superb work there. 10 out of 10. Next year's Girl Pods, we need best transition from horrible topic to what we want to talk about. And this is the
How do I
only
find the
nominee
through line?
because, oh my God, that was a masterclass in a through line. Like, like
like,
I could
hold
never.
on.
Like,
Like, I
I would
can
have just
do
ended
this.
the pod now. I would have been like, oh well, we've kind of just fucked it. Like, bye.
We're gonna need to
Like,
record a whole different episode. No, that's the through line. That's the vision, right? Like,
yeah,
from awful people doing awful things to awful people doing awful things in a show that makes people laugh to
yeah.
another show that maybe made people laugh to video games, right? So here we're back. We're back to video games,
We're
right?
back,
So
baby.
we're doing it. We're in there. So I'm probably gonna pronounce his last name wrong, and somebody else can correct me, and it's fine. But Craig Mazin, right?
Yeah.
He did Chernobyl on HBO. He is
Uh,
co-creator,
when
co-writer,
we're not.
executive producer for
Mhm.
Last of Us. Um, and we're recording this on Friday, so just yesterday it was announced that they are working on a Baldur's Gate TV show. Right now, obviously, a couple of summers ago, or a couple of years ago, I guess, Baldur's Gate took the gaming world like by storm. Right? I don't think it is any stretch of the imagination to say that people fucking love Baldur's Gate, right? I mean, people diving in and playing multiple games, and it obviously took home game of the year. And then it continued to, or it took like community support or whatever award it was because they keep adding things. So Baldur's Gate has just been a runaway success for Larian, and obviously, I I don't think it's unfair to say that a lot of the voice actors in the game also got a big sort of bump and boost in their
Mm,
notoriety because of the game, right? Like, I don't think
yeah.
there's a lot of people who maybe would have been able to, like, off just their tongue be like Neil Newbon and Jennifer English and Devora Wild and Samantha Burt, right? I don't think those names would have come off so easily for people
Oh no,
without
absolutely not.
Baldur's Gate,
Yeah.
right? So, um, I think that's something that is huge. Um, and now that's the next thing that he is going to be tackling. Um, so I would really love to, obviously it's going to be some time before we hear things about it, but what's the vision, right? And there's a lot of information coming out about it, right? Um, and Baldur's Gate is a very interesting choice because part of the appeal of a game like Baldur's Gate is that your endings are different depending on how you play it. So where are you sort of picking up from? One would assume that you're not picking up from an evil ending, right? Um, and to
Could be
some
gone though.
extent, well, it could. Well, you wouldn't have a story to tell depending on how evil the ending is.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
because there are some evil endings where the world is just over, right?
Uh,
So it's like
sucks.
there's it's like there's no other characters for you to like follow.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
so it's like where are you picking up from this? What's the vision, right? Like what is it that you're doing? Um, you're drawing from the lore of the world and you're going to be following different storylines, but how are you sort of doing that and what does it look like for the characters because the thing is we have had Dungeons and Dragons media, right? Many, many times. There was the late 90s, early 2000s. We had a Dungeons and Dragons movie, and I think it was like one of the
With
Wayans
Jeremy
brothers,
Irons.
Jeremy
Like,
Irons. Yep. Yep. Right.
amazing. 10
Uh,
camp. So good.
so campy. So campy. But I enjoyed the hell out of it when I saw it, right? Because I was like, this is silly, this is campy. And it was a product of
But
its time.
and it is also like for those of us who have played Dungeons and Dragons, like much more representative of like how I think a lot of people's Dungeons and Dragons campaigns go. Yes, you have very serious moments,
Hmm.
but 9 times out of 10, you're just fucking about. It's just you and your friends, like
Hmm.
role playing about having magical powers, fucking about in someone's house or on Discord, etc., etc. Dungeons and Dragons, by its very definition, for me personally, is quite camp. Like, it's where the people that didn't necessarily get into theater or acting or stuff like that get to go and do all their little creative things. Like,
Yeah.
you can be. My most recent Dungeons and Dragons character is a little himbo, leonin, um, barbarian who basically just spends all of his time trying to grapple people and arm
Hmm.
wrestle people because he doesn't realize that he's much stronger than everyone else. Um, and he's got a bit of a drinking problem, but that's part of like the lore of the cult that he's in, etc.
Hmm.
I'm like, yeah. And like I'm playing with my friend who's like a bard that sounds like an old timey fucking prospector. I'm like, so camp, just the
Yes.
campest thing in the world. Like, and that's for me, that is what Dungeons and Dragons is all about when you're playing it.
Hmm.
Like, so yeah, how do you how do you take the fact that it's gotten a little bit more serious with things like Baldur's Gate 3? Despite the fact Baldur's
Yes.
Gate 3 can also be incredibly fucking camp.
Oh,
Just won't think
100%.
about it.
I mean, and
Like,
even the most recent Dungeons& and Dragons movie that came out, right? Like,
super
yes,
camp. Like,
super, and I loved
and
it.
so good. You should watch it. Like, if you didn't watch it, you should
Watch
go and
it.
fucking watch it
Please.
because it's so fun. Like,
It is, you know what? I know there's a lot of people that are like, "Chris Pine was born to play this role in por—" No, he was born to play the fucking bard in Dungeons& and Dragons, okay?
yeah.
Like, because that's probably my favorite role that I've ever seen him in.
Well, yeah, I think he definitely was not born to be like reboot Captain Kirk. I'm sorry. I'm
No.
sorry if you like the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. I have me and J.J. Abrams have got beef, to be perfectly honest. Like I don't fucking like that man. Uh,
Fair.
but you know, what is this mystery box shit with Lost? Like, me and J.J. Abrams have had beef for a long fucking time. Um,
I got
but
a theory about J.J. Abrams. He's very good at starting stuff, he's not good at finishing things.
it's not even a theory. Like, he admits that. He's like, "Ooh, we do the mystery box.
And it's like,
We
"Why?"
put all of the what could be the plot threads in a big box, and then we never open the fucking box. We just continue to lens flare our way through anything and hope that no one notices that we've not answered any of the questions that we raised earlier." Um, but no, I'm fully with you. Chris Pine's best role was the bard in Dungeons
Mhm.
and Dragons.
Yes.
He's super funny. Got great comedic timing. He
Mhm.
doesn't need to be big action hero man. Like,
No.
and in fact, he's much better at not being big action hero man. To be honest, like,
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
mm,
I think, I think that was a role that, because I think it got to show off so many aspects of, like, his talent, right? Like, the fun, the witty, the sort of romancy, right? It was a little bit of everything, as you should be with a bard,
yeah,
right? Um,
fuck
but
that slime.
but so you have the camp in there, and then it's like, how do you do that with a TV show, right?
Mm,
Um, so you're gonna be take and then the other thing is Baldur's Gate obviously has the games that came before it. So you have 1, 2, and 3, right? Or you have 1 and 2, and then obviously, this third one. And then there are things that are just generally canon in the Dungeons and Dragons universe,
yeah.
right? And a Kate, there's like uh I forget what it is with Will, but in Baldur's Gate, there's like a moment where he says something about like a cult of people that worship a dragon, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds like the 5e campaign that they relaunched like 5e with," right? As he's talking about it, and I was like,
Mm,
"So this all feels like these common threads that if you don't play Dungeons and Dragons, but maybe you picked up Baldur's Gate, like you don't notice these little things, right?"
mm,
And even with the epilogue that they added, right? There's like a someone playing an instrument, and when you talk to him, it's like, "Oh, this is related to this other god that's
mhm.
in the D&D like universe." Um, right? So it's like there's all these little things that D&D fans will pick up, but Baldur's Gate, as serious as it can be, it also can be very silly and ridiculous, especially depending on how you interact with the characters. And
Yeah.
depending, did you build a character from scratch? Are you playing the Dark Urge? Are you playing one of the origin characters? Right? Like, so you have these moments, um, and to translate that to a show, and I know it's not gonna follow any of these characters in particular, or supposedly that's what we're hearing now,
Mhm.
because 'cause it'll be set after some of what's happened. Um, how are you balancing, right? So I wanna ask, like, how do you balance that, right? With The Last of Us, everything's very linear, right? Like,
Mhm.
The Last of Us doesn't have multiple endings. The Last of Us doesn't
Yeah.
have, all these different variables in the same way. So
And
now
it
you're
has a very specific vibe.
yes,
Like,
you know
we're
what you're
all
getting.
we're all sad. We're all depressed. We all want to
Mhm.
kill each other.
Right.
Let's go. Like, like.
Right.
Cycle of Vengeance is bad, by the way. Just to,
Mhm.
like, this is no shade to actually The Last of Us or any of The Last of Us fans. It's more of a bit of a shade on Neil Druckmann and the fact he's just like, this story's never been told before, and I'm like, what do you mean?
It's 100% been told, and you can still
This
tell the
is
same
this is
story
one of
well.
like the peak stories, which is
Mhm.
just like, ooh, the cycle of violence. Like
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
yes, very well told in The Last of Us games, but
Mhm.
let's not get ahead of ourselves, Neil. Like
Yes.
like
No, 100%, right? So
people been telling these stories since the Greeks. Like like
and that's what we can date it back to. There's probably been stories
yeah.
before that,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, there will be stories for other like other cultures that
Mhm.
I don't have visibility for.
Mhm.
Actually, if you do, please put them in the comments because I would love to know about. Like, I
Yes.
love a little bit of ancient history. Love it. Like,
No, 100%. And that's why I'm like very curious, like, so then how do you adapt something not so linear? What's what's sort of the vision? And I know that a lot of people are upset that that Larian hasn't been like contacted and as of right now, I'll say, as of right now, are not part of it, right?
mhm,
And I'm very specifically saying as of right now because, they did say that, Craig has reached out to talk to the team, right? So while right now, as of I'm gonna date this episode, sort of sorry, right? So as of February 6th at 7:35 New York time, right? Larian is not involved with the storylines and all of these other things, right? There is a chat that they have said is going to happen, right? Because
mhm.
there's a lot of directions that they could go in. So there are conversations that will happen, and maybe their involvement will change based on some of those conversations. I don't know, right? But as of the time of this recording, they're not involved, which a lot of people are very upset about. Um, you know,
Well,
and
let them do Divinity, man. Let them
oh,
do their thing.
right, they also have other things that they're working on,
Yeah.
right? And but I do understand to an extent I understand like, oh, like I can't believe they're not involved. And maybe some of them will be consultants, right? But
Yeah.
also, if they are picking up the story from afterwards, right? You're not adapting Baldur's Gate
Hmm.
3. You're telling stories in a post Baldur's Gate 3 universe where maybe you see some of these characters, right? Maybe
Yeah.
Will
Well,
has taken his dad's like not throne, but uh I forget what role he had. Um but whatever, like
yeah.
maybe this has
But
happened.
yeah, very much like Larry and we're taking on a post Baldur's Gate 2
Mhm.
universe. There's
Right.
not there's not a lot of crossover between Bald, if any, actually, between like the Gate 2 game and Baldur's Gate 3. Like realistically, it's just the area of like D&D or the D&D universe where this entire story is set. Like
Right. The
so
characters that cross over are I don't want to say they're minimal, but they are they're not as pivotal to the story as the rest of them, right? Because
no.
Elminster, yes, he's there, but he's like Gail's grandpa, right? Like, and obviously not his actual grandpa, but he's very much like someone that kind of comes and
Yeah,
goes. Like, and then yes, you can play as Jahira and Minsk, but you get them so much later, and as they're not as pivotal to the story in the same way.
they're much more there is like, oh, this is for the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Um so yeah, I think well, it would be interesting to know like his thought processes for how do you satisfy the fans of Baldur's Gate 3
Mm-hmm.
who are coming into this new show not maybe not really understanding that like Baldur's Gate is like a already living thriving world if their
Mm-hmm.
first introduction to it was through Baldur's Gate 3 the video game, like they're maybe not parsed in like all the D&D lore that was there before. So they were expecting continuations of their character stories.
Yeah.
Um, but also like, as we've seen over the years that Dungeons and Dragons stories in film and TV and things like that, even if they're good, they struggle to do well
Mhm.
because it is actually so steeped in so much like really obscure lore. Like the majority of D&D I play is like in homebrew campaigns. And
Yeah.
people talk to me about like Faerun and stuff like that, and they know all of the backstory to like specific characters. I
Mhm.
don't read a lot of like the D&D books and stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I literally do not. Mechanically, I can
Mhm.
play Dungeons and Dragons,
Yeah.
like, but when it comes to the
The lore.
history of the
Mhm.
world, like when you were talking about stuff, even like even things like Stranger Things, it's like, oh, Vecna, I'm like aware of,
Mhm.
but I've never played a fucking campaign where Vecna was there. Don't know what you're talking about, bro. Like
Not
our big
fair.
bad evil guy was like someone our DM like made up. Like
Mhm. No, I
so
mean,
there's
that's
like
so
those
fair.
two layers of D&D players as well. It's like I play D&D, and the fact that I mechanically use
Mhm.
the D&D system to
Mhm.
facilitate a tabletop role-playing experiences versus, oh, I've played Curse of Strahd, like I've played through all the modules, I know the history of this world. I don't.
Mhm.
Like I have no fucking idea what any of that is.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, I haven't played all the modules, I've played some of them,
mm,
and I just finished the the most recent, like, Vecna module, not as a DM, as a player, so there's obviously
mm,
some context that I might not be aware of because there's probably some things that we didn't do, and I know for a fact that there's certain things that we didn't do, because our DM occasionally would be like, "I didn't expect you guys to get to this point so quick," because there were things that we just, like, skipped, right?
yeah,
Um but even, like, the most recent Vecna campaign was sort of a bit like a, here's the greatest hits of, like, D&D sort of stuff,
yeah.
right? So, some of the things I recognized from, like, playing some of the earlier modules that came out with, like, 5e, but some of the stuff I was like, "I have no context for where this is," right? Or they would mention some sort of god, and I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, that's this one," and then they'd mention another one, I'd be like, "I don't know who that is." Right? Like, you mentioned
Yeah.
Tiamat, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that bitch with, like, the 7 heads, and yeah, uh-huh,
Big
cool.
big dragon. Yee.
Yeah,
Like
right? Cool."
yeah.
And then it's like, as we were getting some lore about Tiamat and stuff, I was like, "Oh, I didn't know they did all that. I just knew they were big dragon." Right?
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
it's just it's really interesting. So it's like, how do you again, how do you find that how do you plan on striking that balance? Right?
Yeah.
Because you can't make it feel like a homebrew, and you can't make it feel too far removed now from the world of Baldur's Gate, right?
But
So
it has to be mostly constrained to the
mhm.
world building of Baldur's Gate 3
Yeah,
because realistically that is your core audiences, like maybe
that's what
not
they know.
only but at least like say, and this is just like a flying punt at a guess, but like at least 65, 70% of the people that played Baldur's Gate 3, the game,
Mhm.
um, probably never played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2
Mhm.
as a game, and actually probably have never played D&D in their lives.
Yeah.
Like, so they don't even necessarily have like that passing reference to
Mhm.
like a Tiamat or something that might come up in a homebrew campaign, or
Yeah.
like know that the deck of many things is something that they really want to play with despite the fact it's absolutely going to ruin their campaign. Like they don't have that like context of
Yeah.
it, and that's going to your core audience is going to be people whose only exposure to D&D is the Larian Baldur's Gate 3.
Mhm.
um and like your character level is like capped at, I
At
didn't
12.
finish Baldur's Gate 3. um,
I finished it twice. It's
put
capped at 12.
put put my hands up. I did not play it. It's a phenomenal game. I love Divinity Original Sin 2. I would much rather play actual D&D than play fake D&D on my PC. I'm so sorry. Um,
No, that's
but
listen, that's super valid. That's so
mm.
fair.
Every single time I try and play Baldur's Gate 3, I own it. I've got it on my Steam. I'm just like, oh my god. could I get my friends together to play actual D&D? Like, I don't want to play computer generated D&D. I want to play actual D&D.
No,
And
that's so
fair
fair.
fucks, absolute props to Larry and Lee did so well
Mhm.
and making it feel like so close to actual D&D, like
Yes, that's what I
things
was
that you
gonna
can
say, yeah.
do. There's so many like little plot threads and how
Mhm.
you do things like influence the world in so many like different ways. What an absolute triumph of a video
Mhm.
game, just in terms of how they managed to do it. But it's still not what your pal is thinking of when you're playing
Oh,
D&D and they just come out with
100%.
something completely from left field and the DM is like, I
Mhm.
think that could work. Roll me like an athletics check,
Yeah.
maybe. Like
No,
there's I don't
100%.
I just don't think we're ever going to be in a place that like a video game could ever capture the chaos that is a D&D
Mhm.
campaign. Um
Agreed. So
so
agreed. I think it
yeah,
is.
you're going to have loads of people coming into the show that
Uh-huh.
their only thing is Baldur's Gate 3. So what do you do? Do you bring in more of like the weirdness of what is actual D&D playing,
Mhm.
or do you try and follow a much more, well, you're going to have to follow a much more linear story path because it's a
Yeah.
TV show, and then I suppose you lose a little bit of the magic of D&D but also a little bit of the magic of Baldur's Gate 3 at the same time.
Yeah,
Like,
I think you might. Yeah. I mean, I think you might. I think what's really interesting with Baldur's Gate 3 is that I think to date, and I don't know that anybody will surpass this, quite honestly. I think Baldur's Gate 3 is probably the closest you can get to playing D&D without actually playing D&D. And
no, absolutely. Yeah.
I think that's why, like, people that do play D&D and then are playing Baldur's Gate are like, "But I would j like, I just wanna play D&D with my friends now," right?
Yeah.
Because it is so close, but it's just not it, and it's impossible for it to be it, right? Like,
Yeah.
full like, it is impossible, but it is so close to it that it is, like, eh, it makes you want the actual, like, dice rolling and all of that, right? Which is such kudos to the team for getting that close, right? And that's why I played it
I
twice through, and I played it when I didn't have active campaigns going on because it was like, I don't have that outlet right now, so this is it, right? Like, this is the thing I'm holding on to.
I didn't stop playing Baldur's Gate 3 because I wasn't enjoying it. It was because it was so good it made me want to play actual fucking D&D.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
and that's I and
Kudos to the team.
realistically I think that's like probably the highest praise you could give to a video game that's based on Dungeons and Dragons.
Mhm.
It's just like I this this was such a good representation of Dungeons and Dragons that I wanted to stop playing it
Mhm.
so I could go outside and socialize. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to leave my home to go and be amongst my people and be like, "Oh, we're in the tavern. Yeah. Oh my
Yes.
god. Why the fuck did you just throw a bottle at that person? Like, oh, now
Mhm.
we're in combat. Like, yay, roll for initiative. Like, like
100%. 100%, and the fact that they were able to capture that is, and again, I know it took years and years, and I know that people are like, "Well, we were in, act 1 play testing for, like, 2, 3 years," but, like, it was well worth it, right? And obviously the sales numbers and everything else proved that it was well worth it. Um, but that is such a kudos to them, and then it's like, is it even possible to replicate that? And in a movie, maybe, right? Because in a movie, you could see how it's a little bit like, "Oh, okay, this is,"
yeah, it's a
you
module.
know, it's a module, right? Or it's one
The module
chapter
you
in a
don't need to
campaign,
play.
right? It's
Like, yeah,
yeah, right? It's so but for a TV show, right? Which means it's almost your bar is almost set higher because when you think about like a D&D campaign, right? If you're lucky, right? You come back every week to play the game, right? So you have to try to replicate that in a TV show to say every week you're going to come back and watch this next episode, right?
yeah,
And obviously there is something that works for certain things, like you have your Dimension 20s, you have your Critical Role, you have your, Dungeons and Daddies and so many other D&D podcast out there, um, that make it work and people do go and watch and whatever and take part in it. Um, but a lot of those are also home brews, so people don't have preconceived notions, right? So the challenge that he is setting himself up for is very difficult because you are coming in with people who have had one of 1,000 different endings, right?
Yeah.
Some of them have romanced Lae'zel and sent her back on her way. Some of them are going to, get Karlach from hell. Some of them, burned the whole world. Some of them did all these different things, right? And, you know, what where are you picking up from that is not
Yeah.
going to alienate the audience before it even starts? Right? Like
Yeah, no,
that's a
absolutely.
challenge.
Yeah. And it would be interesting to ask actually like what his thoughts are on things like Dimension 20.
Mhm.
Um so I mean I've never really watched much Critical Role. Again, I would just rather play D&D.
Yes, 100%. I don't listen
Like,
to or watch Critical Role. I will say I watch Vox Machina, like the animated series, and
yeah.
I have watched Mighty Nine, but I cannot watch them week by week because I'm like, I would rather just do this.
Yeah, yeah. I like I watch a lot of shorts, especially from Dimension 20, because I just think Brennan Lee Mulligan is a genius and quite possibly the most entertaining man on the planet. But I can't actually watch like full episodes of other people
Mhm.
play D&D because then I'm just like, why am I not playing D&D? Where are
Yes.
my friends? Why are we not playing D&D? I've got so many dice. Let's do it. Let's do it. Like I'm so excited.
Yeah,
Like um
100%.
so but you do have loads of people who presu- not presumably but potentially ingest more like D&D content of live plays like your Dimension
Mhm.
20s, Critical Role and stuff like that than maybe they've ever played D&D in their lives.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
um and like both of the DMs that I have played in like long-term games with are phenomenal. Um, so shout out to Josh. I'm sure he does not watch this, but if he did, like shout out to Josh. What a fantastic campaign that we had over COVID and all the way up to like 2024. And shout out to one of my great friends, Adam, who is our DM for our current campaign. Um, but they're not they're they're fantastic DMs. They're fantastic performers. They're fantastic storytellers.
Mhm.
They're not Brennan Lee Mulligan. They're
Yeah.
not Matt Mercer.
Mhm.
Like they don't need to be because we are friends playing at a table and we have a completely different dynamic. Um, but if your baseline for D&D is watching professional voice actors
Yep.
play it and professional improv actors and comedians play it, and then fucking Baldur's Gate 3, and then you're going into a show which doesn't have the flexibility of either.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, what a fantastic fantasy guess, Candy. Like, I've got so many questions. I feel like, and just the fact that like he was the writer of like Scary Movie 3 and 4. Like,
Yes.
obviously he can fucking do camp. I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, you could do the camp, but like, yeah, how do you bring together all these sort of disparate like
That's the
fandoms that are
challenge.
within the bigger fandom, and they all have different ideas of what a D&D TV show should probably be.
Mhm. That
For
that's the
me,
challenge, yeah.
I hope it's amazing. Once again, I probably won't watch it because I'll just be like, I could be playing D&D right now.
I mean, you know what? I almost feel like
Like,
the thing is, I to some extent almost feel like watching a TV show like this will be easier because they're not gonna be
oh yeah, it's like a
talking through the
movie.
mechanics. Right.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I
No
think
one's rolling any dice.
no
As
one's
soon as I
rolling any
hear that,
right.
as soon as I hear
That's
that
what
little
kills
dice
me.
clatter, I'm like, why am I not rolling dice? I should be rolling my
Right.
dice right
Yes,
now.
it's that moment. It's the dice rolling, right? And then it's the, you have to sort of pick a path right? Or you have to pick your decisions, or that's where it becomes like, oh, well, now I wish I was just doing this
Yeah.
thing, right? For a show
You
where
get
it's a
your
little bit more
level up and you're
passive,
like, "Oh, can I
yeah,
take a feat? Can
can I,
I
yeah,
can I take a feat? Can I do something really fun with my build by taking like a really weird little feat? Let's go."
yeah. Can I try to write this background for my character that maybe blends these things together, right? Like that is, you know, some of the fun, and that's where it becomes like, oh, well, I could just do this, right? Um,
Yeah.
so with the
No,
TV
you're
show,
right.
it's a
You're
little bit
absolutely right.
easier, but it is all the expectations from the different like vantage points. That's the thing that he's really going to have to come up against. And it's funny because it's like to some extent, it's almost like could this not that I would want it on Netflix, right? Full I don't want this on Netflix, but could this have almost in some ways worked better as like one of those like Netflix choose your own adventures,
Oh, yeah,
right?
like a Bandersnatch sort of a thing.
Bandersnatch,
Yeah.
I know they had one for Black Mirror. I think they even did one for like a oh, I can't remember that stupid show with the redhead girl now. But like, these like choose your own adventure things where you are then picking their next action, right? Would that have worked to some extent? Because that again simulates some of the D&D sort of thing, right? And especially with like a Baldur's Gate where it's like here's your three options, pick an option or whatever, right? Instead
Mhm,
of it being like this is just the story we're telling and that's it. Now, when you read the D&D modules, could you read them as a book? Absolutely, but
mhm.
most players are not reading them as a book, right?
No.
And that's the D&D contingent of people, not talking about the Baldur's Gate 3 contingent of people or the people that are maybe just getting into it because their favorite voice actor also happens to play it on something, right? And one thing that I have noticed is that the people that are passionate about some of these like D&D games and D&D things, some of them are a little scary, right?
Oh,
Um, they're
goddamn.
they're intense. They're
Yeah.
really intense with it. So, you know, it's a huge, huge balancing act, right? And I know that I don't remember if someone at Larian said this or if Craig had said it himself, but he has put like 1,000 hours into Baldur's Gate 3. So obviously he's explored a lot of the world. He's seen a lot of it. But then and again, it's like, okay, so now that you've done this and you have this, where where are we going from here? Are there characters you're gonna bring in? Right. And we know that it takes place after Baldur's Gate 3. That's basically the only thing that we know. How far
Yeah.
after are we talking, right? Because if we're talking, I don't know, 30, 40 years after, somebody like Gale could be dead because he's a human, right? Like
Mhm.
that and may not even factor into the story.
Yeah, but you gotta assume that they're gonna try and bring in like the fan
Oh,
favorites.
100%. Well,
So like
Astarion will be easy because he's a vampire.
yeah,
No big deal.
yeah, we're going to see Astarion, and I mean I love Neil Newborn. Like I think he's so talented. I think, and obviously he just comes across as such a lovely, lovely
Mhm.
guy. But yeah, like how do you do that as a TV show that's not
Hi
going to
and then
disappoint some people?
do you
Like,
cast these people, right? Like, how do you cast some of these roles? Right now, Neil Newbon, I'm like, okay, yeah, you could probably put him in enough makeup and make him look like a Starion and be fine,
mhm,
right? Um, you know, for maybe you could do the same, for some of these other ones, but there's somewhere I'm like, I don't know that by the time you would actually get around to filming, right,
mm,
that it would work. Right? Now, um, I wish I could remember what freaking show it was that I watched not too long after playing Baldur's Gate 3, but I watched a show and the one who does the voice acting for Gale, he's also an actor, right? And I
mhm.
remember hearing the voice and it bothered me so much that I could not place who it was, right?
Yeah,
And I was like, "Why do I know this voice? Why do I know this voice?" Full disclosure, my first playthrough, I romanced the fuck out of Gale. I was like, that's the one, right? I know a lot of people like Astarion. I was like, "No." Like, I'm romancing Gale. Like, he just needs someone.
I would like Carlac to fold me like an ironing
See,
board.
okay, I
Like,
was doing a playthrough where I wanted to romance Karlach, but then I was like, "No, you know what? Karlach is bestie." I was like, "I just wanna, like, run around forever as Karlach, and I'm too afraid that I would ruin this relationship." Like,
why
it wouldn't
cannot
be that
Bestie
Karlach would ruin it, I would ruin it.
why can Bestie not fold you like an ironing board?
I
Like,
mean, she can, but just
that's
not
a
in, like, a romantic way. Like, no romance, like, no strings attached.
Yeah, I didn't even say it was romance. I would
I
like that
don't
woman to fold me like a fucking ironing board. Like,
That's fair.
and that's not a hear me out. Have you seen Carlac?
Have you
This
y
is not a hear me out.
No, that's
If
not.
you do not want that woman to fold you like an ironing board, then I do not understand what you like in the world. Like, I just don't get it. Like, god damn.
Yeah,
Like,
valid, valid. No, like, I literally was like, "I'm afraid to romance her because I don't wanna ruin this relationship." Like, that's literally there was a playthrough that I was doing that I started romancing her, I did not finish it, and I was so careful with it because I was like, "I don't want her to get upset with me for anything." I was like, "I don't like, no, it is either her or nothing." But, like, my first one, I went through with
yeah.
Gale, and I was like, so I had heard so much of his voice because my character was spending so much time with him, and I couldn't place it. And then when I saw the actor, I was like, "I can see the resemblance, but I don't think that would work in, like, a
Mm,
TV show." Right?
yeah.
But then do you again, right? If you bring in a character like Gale, are you running the risk of people being like, "Well, that's not Gale, and that's not this," and then it's like, because unfortunately, we are in a society where people will complain about any little thing, right? Like, there are people complaining that Craig Mazin is, leading this up because they don't like what he's done on Last of Us. As someone who has not played Last of Us, the first one or the second one, right? I'm enjoying the shit out of the show, right? And like, I'm enjoying it. I think it's good, right? I haven't played the games. I know a lot of the pivotal points in the story. I think the timing of releasing the episodes is a bit ridiculous, but I think that for a lot of shows these days, right? Kudos to Fallout for being like, we're already starting season 3, even though we just finished
Mhm,
season 2. Like, they're recording in
yeah.
May. Like, kudos to not having these like 2 to 3 year long breaks because it's fucking ridiculous, right? Um, but like, you know, so in terms of creating a show and doing all these things, they're going to tear it apart, right? Like, people are going to tear it apart. So how
Mm,
do you set it up that the word of mouth doesn't destroy it before it even gets started?
yeah. No, I absolutely agree. And I think my thoughts on that specifically could probably be something that we fully cover in like another girl pod because I have a lot of thoughts um about a lot of things, but no, I specifically have a lot of thoughts about and there's ways to phrase it that make it seem like really shitty, and there's ways to talk about it, but I have a lot of thoughts about um media literacy and how media criticism works in a sort
Mhm.
of like post YouTube world.
Yes.
And
100%.
I think this could be a very insightful topic of conversation on a girl pods, potentially with a guest who
Yeah.
creates media. Um, but we now live in a world where um just things like production errors are picked apart as plot
Mhm.
holes,
Yes.
and continuity errors because there couldn't possibly just be like a part in a TV show where like something wasn't in the correct place at the correct time,
Mhm.
because making TV shows is fucking difficult and they
Yeah.
have to coordinate a shitload of stuff all at the same time. um but we also live in a world where people refuse to interact with media and take it at face value.
Mhm.
It always has to have some sort of like underlying agenda. It
Yes.
always has to have some underlying like politicalization from the writer or the director, etc., etc. Taking it stepping away from the fact that like essentially like all art is political.
Mhm.
Um uh I think that making movies and TV and video games now just seems fucking terrifying. Because
Yes.
do you how do you satisfy the super nerds that know every single
Mhm.
inside and out like facet of your universe, despite the fact that you don't necessarily know it?
Yeah.
Like J.R.R. Tolkien did not know every single like tiny piece of lore about the world of the Lord of the Rings whilst he was writing the Lord of the Rings. Because he went back and he wrote some stuff later, and actually some of it
Right.
was written by his son. And we just don't give authors and TV producers and stuff like that the grace of that now.
Nope.
Um, how do we make characters that are fundamentally bad people from societal standards without people being like, oh, the creator agrees with this person's
Mhm.
actions because they've written them to do that. Uh, and how do you even traverse through like the 70,000 different YouTube channels that are being like every error in this film when it's like what
Mhm.
because there was like a someone's t-shirt was like folded wrong from
Right.
one cut to another because they were
Mhm.
taking loads of takes, or even worse, like just how this is pushing forward some sort of political agenda without even engaging art as art. Like,
Mhm.
I just do not know how you could possibly take on any form of entertainment media in a and it yeah I'm not comfortable with this phrase because I don't actually think it means what I think it means, and it sounds pretty pretentious,
Mhm.
but like in a post media literacy society, like we're just at a point where
We are.
unless I can tell you everything I know about the fucking lore, then it means that I don't actually know something about it. Like
Mhm.
I can't engage with a medium just for fun. I can't
Yeah.
like just take in a story or a TV show because it's enjoyable. Like if I my dad really liked the fucking Halo TV show. I thought it was shit because actually I just thought it was shit.
Mhm.
But like he's never played Halo and he was just like, "This is fun." Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was good, but
Mhm.
we've now gotten to a point where fans of things can never be satisfied by what they're given because they're like, "Well, that's not how I would have done it." And actually, if you go down through the annals of the lore and that
Uh-huh.
means that that bit is wrong. That's incorrect, and it's ruined for me forever. Like, so how do you take on something that is D&D with probably one of the most rabid fandoms in the world, and
Mhm.
also Baldur's Gate that doesn't they're not even D&D fans, but they're fans of one of the best video games ever made, and
Yes.
pull that together. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with this when I started, but
No,
like
I think
goddamn,
I
like
think you've absolutely I think you've absolutely said it all, right? Because it is we are, and I don't think you need to feel pretentious using this term. Um, and as someone with a BA in media studies, pushing up my invisible glasses, um, we are unfortunately in a post media literacy world, right? Because we have instead of people being media literate, we actually have people that think they are media literate, and that is worse than admitting that you either don't understand something or don't have the full context or are open to learning the context, right? Because then instead of either being able to say, I'm enjoying this for what it is, even though it's flawed, which is fine, right? And I do that a lot, right? They are picking it apart to
lol.
almost prove that they understand it. And it's like,
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that you understand it. That just sometimes means you're an asshole, right?
yeah,
Like, so, we are in that post media literacy because they're not looking for themes, they're not looking for messages, they're not looking at, and they're not looking at everything else that goes into creating this, right? They are just looking for the flaws so that they can get the views on their YouTube channel or so that they can say, "Well, I found this thing wrong and I can't believe this person makes all this money doing this thing," right? And it is like,
yeah,
well, it comes off as jealous. It's not the flex that you think it is, right? Um,
yeah.
so
I'm
it's
a big stupid fucking nerd and I don't know what
yeah,
themes are.
right.
Like
Right. It's like sometimes the themes are more important than what's going on, right? The themes
yeah,
and the story that they're trying to tell and the story arc and all of that is more important than the fact that like you notice that the cut wasn't from the same take because suddenly a button is unbuttoned on the shirt where the take like that is so nitpicky. And listen, sometimes I get into my nitpicky shit, okay? But again, I paid fucking money to get a degree in media studies, alright? So fuck you, I paid to be able to say this shit. Um, but
I've
right?
got debt, motherfucker.
I got
Like,
debt
come
to
at
say
me.
this,
I'll
okay?
fight you,
I'm
bro.
I'm
Like,
angry because I have debt to be able to say this. Right? But, like, that's not the flex. That's not the point, right? For sometimes the point is just to entertain an audience, right? And sometimes there is a deeper story to tell. And sometimes there are themes and political stuff that they want you to take with you, right? But that is not always the case. And sometimes we don't need to look at like the deeper thing and whatever, right? Sometimes you just have to enjoy it for what it is. And this is gonna be not a full-on tangent, but, because we've sort of talked about this in the past. Actually, I don't remember if this was with you or if this was with Brit, but, um and this is moving away from Craig, but just general media stuff.
I feel like
That
Craig would. I'm not saying. I'm saying Craig. We would say
I
Craig, but yeah, like I feel like Craig would love this conversation. To be perfectly
I
honest,
mean, maybe. Maybe, right?
like,
Because sometimes you just wanna enjoy something, and
how do you create media in a post-media literacy
in a post
world,
how do
Craig?
you? How do you? I want one of my students to, like, make a thesis on this.
Oh,
But, like, that is why going back to a fantasy guest that I had before, one of my fantasy guests that I really wanted on the show was Kermit the Frog, right?
that'd be amazing. Fucking
And
love Kermit.
the Muppets recently released a special, or I'm calling it a special because there's not a definitive that they'll get another series and whatever, whatever, right? And we watched it last night on Disney Plus. Say what you will about Disney Plus, whatever. Disney, obviously, yes, they have a lot of issues, blah blah blah. Right, fine. But watching the Muppet Show, I was like, this is exactly what I needed to watch right now, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, it is nostalgic for a different time, right? It is not coming through overtly political, right? It is here is some entertainment, right?
Mhm.
Here is something to take your mind off of things. Here's something that is just meant to be enjoyable so that you can have your 30 minutes of
Mhm.
enjoying something and not having to worry about everything else that's going on in the world, right? And I was
Yeah.
like, that that is exactly what I needed, right?
Yeah.
That is what I think a lot of us need, right? And sometimes we just have to say, this thing is just going to be enjoyable, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
That is the exact same fun that I've been having with a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, yes. Oh my
Like,
god, yes. You
yeah,
said that and I was like, I'm having so much fun with this show.
yeah.
It's campy and it's silly, and I love that they got an ex-rugby player to play the main character, and he's a little bit of a doof, and I love it.
That man is a full-blown himbo. That man is
Yes.
caked up. Like, this is unacceptable behavior. Like,
Love
and
it.
and then we've got little egg, and he's just like, yeah, I don't like you. And actually, I don't want that. And you look rubbish at being a knight, but also let's just be best friends. And I'm like, fucking yes. This is like this is Big Brother, Little Brother energy,
Yes.
and it's
Love it.
set in the Game of Thrones world.
Love it.
And obviously there's going to be assholes and like
Mhm.
violence and such, but it's just such a pure little story about like heroism and what it is to
Yes.
be just like a gallant knight from like stories of old. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, we're not politicking, we're not doing all this scheming over here and like there's like bad things happening over there. It's just
Mhm.
like, yeah, I'm a knight, and that means I'm a good guy, and
Yes.
I'm going to
That's
teach my wee bald friend on how to be a
it.
good guy as well. And I'm like, it's so great. Like, and
That's it.
spoilers for like the third episode, if anyone hasn't watched it, but
You should. It's an hour and a half so
you,
far. All like they're
yeah,
half-hour episodes. Watch it.
it's
Pause this
so
right
good.
now and go watch it.
Go and watch it, like absolutely. But like the third episode is like, oh, like the bad guy who's like so obviously the bad guy.
Mhm.
It is like a Disney movie. It's like, oh,
Yes.
he's hurting your crush, and he just runs in and he's just like yeet, like kicks him in the face, and I'm like. fucking yes, let's go. This is what we want.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
and
it.
none of it seems like over, as you say, like none of it seems overly like political about any sort of a
Mhm,
way. There's the overarching message is just be a good, honorable person. And
mhm.
I'm like, it is like a little like fairy tale story that you would
Yes,
have read or watched when you were growing up. And I'm like, this is exactly what I need right now. This is a bit
yes.
of like good like nostalgia for, oh, and there was a gallant knight and he saved
Mhm.
the damsel in distress. And he was also caked the fuck up. Like,
Yes, 100
like
like, and sometimes that's all your entertainment needs to be, right?
Yep,
Like,
absolutely.
there
Yeah.
is a time and place for intellectual entertainment. There is a time and place for stupid, like, nonsense entertainment. There is a time and place for something in between, right? But I think, unfortunately, in 2026, when everybody's trying to prove something or everybody's trying
Mhm.
to make a name for themselves or get content out there, it's like the easiest way to make content sometimes is to like, basically, like, not full on hate content, but tearing something else apart because people are gonna look at it and be like, "Oh, maybe this person's right," and, like, maybe they have a point, and maybe and, like but, like, you don't need to do that. Sometimes you just need to enjoy something, right? And, fortunately, I'm not in a scenario where I have to, like, dissect that and prepare for something like that, but obviously stepping into a Pulse Baldur's Gate 3 show, like, that's what they're gonna have to anticipate coming their way, right? And that is a challenge, and I hope that when it comes out, we can just enjoy it for what it is. And listen, if it sucks, right, we'll
Yeah.
straight up say it sucks.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think the biggest thing when it comes to especially like what you and I would be the same categorized as like hate channels and stuff like that. This is None of this is constructive criticism.
Mhm,
If something just is bad because it's like, badly acted, badly written,
mhm.
like, you know, just badly filmed, no one's saying you're not allowed to point that out.
Yeah.
But if your criticisms go down to like, oh, well, actually, this is pushing an agenda, and there's like, again, like the nitpickingness of like a small continuity error here.
Mhm.
My favorite film of all time is Jurassic Park. We're not going to do another dinosaur rant right now because it's 1:15 in the morning and I do have to go to bed. But anyone who's ever watched Jurassic Park and got super into it will be able to tell you that there is a frame during the Tyrannosaurus Rex chase of the Jeep where the Tyrannosaurus Rex disappears for one frame because it was made in 1994 and
Mhm.
CGI was within its infancy. If that came out right now, you would have like fucking panels of YouTubers that their only content is picking apart media because they
Mhm.
don't create anything. Their
Yes.
only thing is to nitpick their way through things that are actually good to tell
Mhm.
you why they're fucking shit for no reason.
Yes.
And they'd be like, well, this is sloppy from Steven Spielberg, who at the same time was also making Schindler's List, like one of the best fucking films of all time.
Mhm.
Like, and like this is the sort of minutiae that these, and I'm gonna call them fucking content farmers because now I'm
Mhm.
fucking mad about it, like go through to tell you that media is actually bad now. It's like,
Mhm.
go and watch some of the films that they would put up to say that these are good films and tell me that there's not continuity errors like
Oh, yeah.
abound, because they were never called continuity errors before. It was just like little bits of filming that
Mhm.
didn't line up together, and you could look past it because it's a suspension of disbelief. You're
Yes.
watching a fucking movie about dinosaurs. Get your head out of your ass, motherfucker. Like, but we can't even have that now. We can't
No.
even have that. It's like, well, that cup moved from here to here from frames. So that
Mhm.
means that's sloppy editing. Fuck off. Fuck you do everything with like free transitions in DaVinci Pro. Get your shit ass takes out of my face. Like, when did it just become so popular to hate things for no reason whatsoever? if something is bad, we can say it is bad. We
Mhm.
can say it's badly written. We can say it's badly filmed. We can say it's badly fucking acted if it's wooden acting. But like small nitpicks here and there, this is nothing to do with quality. And if that's the only thing you've got to say about a piece of art, then maybe you don't fucking deserve art. Oh, I'm so mad, man.
I like that you were like,
Like,
I have to go to bed because it's after 1 AM." I'm like, "Ooh, I don't know you gonna go to bed that quick because you mad, you got energy now."
I do have energy now, but we can save this over to another guild pod because it is 1:15 in the morning and I don't actually know how long we've been recording for.
No.
But
No, we're
yeah,
yeah, we're about to wrap up, but you know, that's, my fantasy guest spiraled into, like, easily, like, 40 minutes, so it's good though, but,
I
you
think
know
we should get Craig
yeah,
Manzin on so we can actually talk to him about, you know, the stresses and pressures of making a TV show about one of the
mhm,
most beloved video games of all time,
yeah.
and actually what he thinks about a post-media literacy world.
Yeah, and then also, for the fun stuff, like, how his playthroughs went, right? He doesn't have to tell
Yeah,
us anything about the
what's
plot.
his hear me out?
Ooh,
Who's
what's
he
his hear
want
me
to
out? Yeah.
bang?
Yeah, tell us.
Who did he romance in Baldur's Gate 3?
That's
Need to
if
know.
if anybody, right? Like, maybe he didn't romance anybody. I don't know. But, I think
Is that
it'd
allowed?
be an yeah, of course it is. Is that allowed? Yeah. You can
The
romance nobody.
horniest game ever made. No, of course that's allowed.
Of
Like,
course it is. That's fine. But yeah, I
if
would
your hear me out is no one, that's also completely okay.
that's not even a hear me out, that's just being asexual. It's not a hear me out,
Yeah, that's what I meant.
that's
That's what
fine.
I meant.
Yeah.
If your
But
hear
yeah.
me out is that you don't have a hear me out because you're asexual or aromantic,
Cool.
we support you.
Absolutely. Live your best life. And then you don't have to deal with all the drama. You don't have to worry about someone's farts the next day while you're trying to sleep or anything. It's great. It's great.
You
No,
don't
but
have to get like ridiculously excited about Fishman in Avowed just because he has a specific voice actor, and now every time you go into the pub, one of your friends says Fishman 2 Electric Boogaloo. Like you don't have to worry about any of these
oh,
things. Like
fine. It's fine. But yeah, you know, Craig Mazin, you don't have to tell us anything about what you have planned for the show moving forward because I'm sure there's NDAs and all that. I would just like to talk about the pressures, the media literacy, right? And then how your playthrough went, and that's it, And look, I love me some Baldur's Gate. I might be starting another playthrough soon. I would love to hear from the audience that's listening how your Baldur's Gate playthroughs went. Right? Tell me all about them. Tell me what was great. Tell me what was awful. Right? Tell me what really worked for you. Tell me the choices that you made that you regretted. Right? Did you sleep with Minthara and then she got mad and you had to kill her too? Because I had that happen and then I killed her and I was like, "Damn, I was really trying to romance her and bring her along on this ride along," and she straight up said, "No." I get it. I'm with you, right? So tell me what happened. Um,
everyone knows that you have to kill your exes if they're
mm,
not up for the ride along.
you're right. And that
Unfortunate.
and if you haven't seen that sex scene with Minthara, you missing out. I'm just saying. You
I have not. I have not.
Oh. Oh, it's I think it's probably the most
I'm
graphic
almost
scene.
I'm almost 100% certain either before we started recording, it was before we started recording. It's not in it is not in the recording of this. Is that I can't I can't be googling any more suspect stuff
I
because
will I will
I couldn't
send
have been
you
going from Kai avowed to the word gimp
no.
and then into Menthara sex scene.
I will send you
Someone's
the
going to
scene.
come to my house.
I will send you the scene, but it won't say Minthara sex scene. It'll be part of the playthrough that King and I did. It just is that in that playthrough, that scene
Okay.
also occurred. So it'll say something about the playthrough, not specifically about that scene. Um, it's when you're live streaming a game and a scene like that happens, it's interesting.
Okay. Okay.
So, well, we'll send it to you. But that's all for today, folks. So if you made it this far, if you also want to see the scene,
Well
I guess let
done.
me know. But yeah, if you
Like
made it this far, well done. Because what a wild ride. Uh, but But don't forget that you can also catch the weekly news podcast if you need something not so wild, not so going off on tangents, something a bit more focused and streamlined. You can find our articles over on gamersocialclub.ca, which you can also now find Gamer Social Club on Metacritic. Um,
Yay!
if you need more gamers to chat with, make sure that you join the Discord. The link is going to be in the description, whether you're on YouTube and Spotify, because I'm putting those links everywhere. Join us, play games with us. We do game days, nights, whatever, some impromptu, some planned. We played some Dead by Daylight recently. I know they were playing like Injustice recently. Like people are gaming, people are hanging out. Come join the Discord, come hang out.
15
Um,
likes, we'll be playing Overwatch.
yes,
Like,
15 likes on this, we will play some Overwatch. So make sure that you like, subscribe, share this with your gamer friends or with your media literate friends and have them weigh in on the idea of a post media literacy world. Like I'd be curious. I did actually truly get a degree in media studies. That was quite some time ago. So I'd be curious if there's more recent people that want to talk about it. Let's chat. Let's talk about it. I'll
and I
I'll
definitely
use
did
my
not, so
degree.
you can tell me that I am wrong. Like,
I'll use my degree. We'll talk about it. It's all good. But leave a comment on something that we did that was great or something that you don't agree with. That's cool too. We are open. We are open to, constructive criticism. We are open to feedback as long as it's not just, I hate your face. If you hate my face, you can just listen to it on Spotify now because I made sure they go on Spotify.
that's not constructive. I can't do anything about that. So, here's your media literacy lesson for the day. Saying I hate your face is not constructive criticism because I
hmm
can't change my fucking face. Saying that things that I talk about might be a little bit annoying and you disagree with them, and maybe I could go approach them a different manner, that's constructive criticism because that's something I can change. Like,
Yeah.
yay.
Look, free lesson. You didn't even have to pay $3,000 for a college class for that. So make sure
We
that you
got
you leave the
you.
like. Yeah, we got you. Leave the like, leave the comment, share it with your friends, and we will catch you on next week's episode of Girl Pod. Bye everybody.
Bye.